Hey, it's me Rivaya, and in this video, I wanted to share some of the resources that are used for learning offensive security and red team operations. First of all, on the list is this website called the Hacker Recipe. Now, I mainly use this website for studying about Active Directory and the attack paths, and also the tools for performing those attacks. You can check out this website and make sure to bookmark it and use it in your labs or even in your pen test. Next on the list, I have this CRTP notes. I mainly use this notes for revising Active Directory concepts. I'm not planning on giving the certification at least yet, but this can be useful for anyone preparing for CRTP. So make sure to check this out as well. But overall, yeah, this can be a good refresher for Active Directory. Next, we have this blog post by Sudoro. Now, this guy discusses a lot about Windows internal and has written extensively about inter-process communication, remote procedure calls, and COM objects. This kind of knowledge is critical for understanding stealth, lateral movement, or bypassing defenders when traditional methods just fail. So make sure to check his blogs and study them if you want to perform Windows red teaming. Next up, we have this blog post by Debugger Man. Now, this guy discusses a lot about modern EDR architectures like CrowdStrike and Falcon, and also shares modern evasion threat graphs such as sleep obfuscations and patchless MC bypasses. He also discusses about modern persistent techniques and modern red team infrastructure setup and various ways of getting an initial. Next on the list, we have this Mal API. Now, this one basically discusses about the various Windows API used in malware development. It is critical to understand the various APIs that are available and how to use it for various attacks like process injections, memory manipulation, persistence, or implementing anti-debugging. So make sure to check out the various APIs that are discussed here, though you will not find the source code for any of the APIs, but there's a document provided which you can refer if you want to check out a particular API. This website also points to some other websites like Living of Trusted Sites. It basically provides a list of trusted domains that can be used for setting up exfiltration infrastructure or communication channels between the beacon and the redirector and the C2 server. So make sure to check this one as well. Another resource that it points to is FileSec. Now, this basically discusses about the latest file extensions that are used by attackers for delivering or packaging payloads into. Check this extensions as well and hope you tried some of them. Next, we have this blog post by Rasta Mouse. Now, Rasta discusses a lot about modern Cobalt Strike trade graphs, and he discusses about beacon object files and advanced evasion techniques like hook chain manipulations. Next up, we have this blog post by Dark Entry. It basically explains the working of the C2 server. It is a 3-part series, and this is just the part 1. So make sure to read this if you want to understand about C2 service. Next up, I used this cheat sheet for Cobalt Strike when I was preparing for my CRTO examination, though I didn't use it much on my exam. But this one is basically an OPSEC-focused reference for Cobalt Strike. It covers everything from malleable C2 profiles and provides resources for studying about malware profiles and configuring your own profile, and also discusses about reflective loaders to domain privilege escalation and lateral movement using BOF files to avoid spawning suspicious child process. Check out this if you want to study about Cobalt Strike. Next up, we have this cheat sheet for Sliver C2. Now, this is basically a quick reference guide for setting up, configuring, and working with this open source C2 server. It discusses about the various command sets that this tool provides, like for generating payloads, working with Armory, setting up redirectors, and some OPSEC-friendly practices. Make sure to read this out if you are working with Sliver C2. Now, about malware development. I personally do not do malware development. I only like to explore Windows internals or Linux internals and try to enhance my programming skill. That is why I refer to this article sometimes. But for those of you who want to learn about malware development, then I think this will be a good start, because this guy discusses malware development from the very basics and discusses techniques like process injections, discusses about what are threads, what are handles, and things like that. So if you're interested in malware development, then this can be a good start for you. This guy also has a YouTube channel, so you can refer to it as well. Now, when you are studying malwares or when you are working with Windows internals or Linux internals, you need some research papers or you need some documents that dive deep into the system internals. Now, VxGround is basically the largest available public repository for malware samples and their source codes. And also tons of research papers are available on this platform. Now, this is basically an invaluable resource for studying real-world malware development techniques and analyzing historical malwares. So come to this page and check out what he has. And this guy is literally amazing. He's very active on X as well. So follow him. Next, we have this OSED notes. Now, those of you who want to give this OffSec exam, OSCD, or preparing for OSCD, I think this will be a pretty good reference for you, or maybe a short note for you. And even for those who are just wanting to learn about Windows exploit development, then this can be a good resource for you as well. It's by Zayed from Red Team Recipes. So check this out if you're interested in Windows exploit development. Next up, we have this blog post by Quirks Lab. Now, this guy has written a lot of articles on various subjects like vulnerability analysis, fuzzing, kernel debugging, reverse engineering, and various other things. So check out his blog post and see what interests, and you will find a lot of useful information to work with. Next up, we have this blog post by Bishop Firks. Now, this blog basically discusses about modern red team tools, C2 servers, and Active Directory and network exploitation tools. So check out these tools, check out whatever tools they have discussed here, and see if anything seems new to you. And whatever seems new to you, make sure to look into it and maybe perform a lab with it or set up a lab on it. So yeah. Last but not the least, we have here is Red Team Guides. Red Team Guides also has a book on it, but I think the blog post also is good enough. So this blog post basically discusses a lot about red team operations, practical red team operations, and gives practical insights into real world scenarios, and also discusses about the mindset that a red team operator should have during an engagement. You can check out the various sections that it discusses, like red team checklist, rules of engagement and planning, the various concepts of red team engagements, and using MITRE ATT&CK for setting up your infrastructure, and various TTP guidance, selecting your TTP, and the templates that you can use for documenting whatever findings you were able to discover, and threat profiling. Basically, this also discusses some real world cases and does a threat profiling on them. So it's pretty useful actually for those starting out. Actually, I'm also starting out, and I use this a lot for my revisions or for my learning purposes and all. So yeah, these are the resources that I use very often in my learning, but these are not all, but the very frequent ones. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, and if you find that I missed something, then make sure to tell me about it in the comments. And if you have any resource that you have found helpful in your learning, then make sure to share it in the comments for others and for me as well. See you in the next video.